Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Collector. Welcome to my Nerd Cave. Um, First off, yes, I am going to get back to the video game collection videos this weekend. Um, but first, I wanted to kind of mix things up. Been really into this studio. I've been into the studio, but here lately, I've just kind of been rolling through the movies, just watching some of the ones I hadn't seen yet. So today I want to talk about A24, a contemporary independent film company that works with a lot of established filmmakers and actors, but also introduces newer filmmakers and actors who are just like, cutting their teeth in the business. And they've made some of the most phenomenal films of recent years, and they put out a lot more movies per year than most major studios do, which is crazy. But so I've got a ton of like Blu-rays and 4Ks right here in front of me. Well, 15. I want to go through like five honorable mentions and then my top 10 A24 films. A couple things. One, I have not seen all of their films, including a few that have just like come out. A couple that are like on streaming that hadn't that are streaming services I don't have, like Apple TV, like Apple Plus or whatever, Apple TV. I don't know. Um, then and there's just some that I just hadn't gotten around to yet. But yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. So first honorable mention is a film called Good Time with Robert Pattinson, directed by the Safdie brothers. One of the Safdies is also one of the stars in it. It's a he's a thief, and his brother, who is mentally handicapped, gets detained in the midst of one of their heists, and so he's going through the city and just doing all this shit to try to get money to post bail for his brother. So yeah, check that one out. Robert Pattinson's been doing some great things. Like, I know a lot of people are still on the whole, oh, the guy from Twilight. Fuck off, man. Like, he's done a lot of great stuff, and nobody hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. So come on, give him a chance. This one right here. Oh, another thing. You will see that I am very much a genre film fan, so just be warned. This film right here stars Anton Yelchin, the late great, Imogen Poots, who, if that was my name, I would probably have changed it. I don't know. And Patrick Stewart. Yes, the Patrick Stewart. This is Green Room, where a punk rock band, unbeknownst to them, gets a gig at what is actually a neo-Nazi bar, and they get trapped in the green room, which is the waiting room for the band. And while these guys, like, after these guys commit a murder, and they're trying to, like, stop any kind of police investigations, anything like that, and the leader of this group is Patrick Stewart, who gives a chillingly, like, terrifying performance. So it's worth a watch. This one, Dave Franco, James Franco, and Seth Rogen, The Disaster Artist. It's basically the dramatized / comedy version of what happened behind the scenes of the hit film The Room, one of the greatest bad movies of all time, the Citizen Kane of bad movies. Worth a watch here. Also, the commentary features James Franco as well as Dave Franco, as well as Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, the guys from The Room. So, like, I love the commentary. Like, I don't know. This one, it kind of bugs me because, like, I bought this used and apparently came from a public library, and so the cover art is ruined. But this is just a feel-good movie. Stars Julianne Moore, Gloria Bell, and you see what I mean there. But it's like a feel-good movie. Like, this woman in her 50s, played by Julianne Moore, who's still fine, by the way. Just kind of like navigating single life in her 50s, going to like dance clubs and whatnot, and she starts dating John Turturro. Her ex-husband is Brad Garrett. Her son is Michael Cera. But like, yeah, just it's worth a watch. And the last of the honorable mentions, one of their more recent films, Red Rocket, starring Simon Rex, who is like it's his best performance. Like, you might remember him as the goofy brother from Scary Movie 3. But in this, he plays a porn star who kind of gets out of it and goes home to a small town in Texas, where, you know, his ex-wife is there, and his ex-wife's mom is living with his ex-wife, and he starts this friendship with a younger guy and gets him in trouble, and then he starts a relationship with a inappropriately younger woman. But yeah, it's just it's a great watch. So now, top 10 A24 films. We're gonna start off with Jonathan Glazer film starring why do I keep my mind keeps fogging up? Scarlett Johansson, Jesus Christ, Black Widow. It's Under the Skin. She's an alien who is wearing basically a human skin, who lures unsuspecting victims to her ship, where they eviscerate them, basically. Which fun behind-the-scenes fact, apparently a lot of the guys that were in this film didn't know they were in a film until, like, after they were done filming the scene. They didn't recognize Scarlett Johansson? I don't know, but anyway. It's got, like, some super disturbing scenes. Scarlett Johansson is, like, really sexy in it, and, yeah, it's a film that will definitely get under your skin. This one is actually very melancholy and just methodical and, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Existential. It's from the hell's his name? David Lowery. Stars Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. A ghost story. It's just a haunting drama film, where he's just like, he's a ghost. He passed away, and he's like, he's watching over his wife for a while, and then other people move into the house, and he's just like kind of going through the ages of what's happening on this property. But yeah, it's like I said, it's dark and it's haunting, and it's such a good watch. Not a horror, it's definitely a drama, but still. This one is also a drama, and it put Brie Larson on the map, and won Academy Awards. Jacob Tremblay, I think it was his first film. It's called Room, not Tommy Wiseau's The Room from The Disaster Artist. This is Room, where a woman who was abducted years ago and kept in a secret locked shed, where she's like forced to give birth to the man's child, and like she plots this daring escape using her child, and they get out, and it's about the majority of the film is about them adjusting to real life. So it's like, yeah, it'll make you cry, honestly. This one is from Alex Garland. Stars Domhnall Gleeson, Alicia Vikander, and Oscar Isaac. This is Ex Machina, where Domhnall Gleeson gets invited to his boss, Oscar Isaac. Just gorgeous. Like, I'm an architecture nerd. Gorgeous house out in the middle of nowhere, where he is supposed to give a Turing test to an artificial life form. Alicia Vikander, and like, again, it's mesmerizing, it's haunting, it's thrilling, it's like, yeah, I can't speak enough about it. It's a great film. This one I've got 2 copies of because they're, different, but it's Ari Aster. Midsommar. This is the theatrical cut, and this is the director's cut, which was an A24 shop exclusive. I got the Blu-ray because I don't have a 4K player, and for some reason their 4Ks don't come with the Blu-ray disc. Just like this one didn't come with a DVD disc, but that's fine, I have a DVD player. Oh, if the 4K came with the Blu-ray disc, I would have definitely grabbed that instead, because I'd still, I'd be able to watch it because of the Blu-ray, and also it was the literal exact same price. So I don't know. I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, so the book also comes with like an introduction from the one and only Martin Scorsese. But this woman who's like deeply, deeply troubled goes through a traumatic experience with her gaslighting boyfriend who does not like her anymore, and she winds up getting into a trip that he and his friends are going on. His friends also hate her. They're going on a trip to Sweden to what turns out to be a cult who are doing this midsummer ritual, and yeah, it's worth a watch. The director's cut's like 270 minutes somewhere in there. Like it's a long movie. Even the theatrical cut's a long movie, but the director's cut's like an extra 30 minutes, and they're both worth a watch. But I think the director's cut definitely takes it for me. Like it adds a lot to it, in my opinion. My cat is doing stuff. Okay, so this one, another David Lowery film. He went medieval on this one. Dev Patel and Alicia Vikander in it. This is The Green Knight, which is the Arthurian tale of Sir Gawain and his quest to face the Green Knight after the Green Knight challenges Arthur's knights to a Christmas game, basically. And it's got like the who's who of A24 stars in it from. Hang on, let me pull this out. And yeah, Sean Harris, who I don't think's done much A20 or any A24, but Ralph Ineson, Joel Edgerton, Alicia Vikander, David Lowery, of course, directed. There were a few others in it that did A24 films, I think. The wife from The Witch was in it. There was a few more that like I kind of noticed, but was the kid from Killing of a Sacred Deer in this? I think he might have been. But anyway, so The Green Knight. If you're into like medieval Arthurian tales, this one is like top tier for me. A medieval folk tale from Robert Eggers. Again, Ralph Ineson and what is her name? Kate Dickey is the mom. Anya Taylor-Joy. This is the film that put her on the map. This is The Witch, or the Vitch, because they did not have W's back at the time when this movie takes place. Probably not going to be for everyone. If you're not into ye old English, you probably won't understand a lot of what's going on. But this is a just dark, foreboding, just methodically made, true to life back then film. Like Robert Eggers was like up and up on his research on like witchcraft and the dialect of the time, and like he had them build the entire house and everything, the farm, from scratch. And I think there was like one oopsie daisy as far as like authenticity goes. Like they wouldn't have been able to afford wax candles. Like, oh my god. But yeah, The Witch is it's Robert Eggers' first movie, and it's such a great film. All right, we are down to the final three. This one is actually the first one that I saw in theaters, and I had to see it in theaters because horror movies are better in theaters, let's face it. This one was Ari Aster's first film, and Toni Collette got robbed at the Oscars. In fact, she got snubbed. She didn't even get nominated, even though she gave such an incredible performance. I am, of course, talking about Hereditary, where a family deals with the death of the matriarch, the grandmother, and things start kind of going awry, and then a tragedy, and then nothing that happens in this movie is something that you see coming right away. And like it's just even when it's not being scary, it's unsettling. Just the stuff that's happening in the background, and then there's like dark scenes where you're just sitting there and you're like, oh shit, there's somebody in the shadow, and it's like, yeah. So Hereditary, one of the scariest movies of all time, in my opinion. This one is another one where the actors got snubbed at the Oscars. It is another Robert Eggers film. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse. For a while, this was my top favorite film, and it got overshadowed by one. Basically, these two lighthouse keepers gets stranded at a like far offshore lighthouse, and it just slow builds. The tension builds. Eventually, they're just trying to out toxic masculinity each other, and yeah, it's just like I can't. It's hard to describe, honestly. Like there's a lot of mythology and like references there, and again, Robert Eggers stays true to what dialect would have been at the time. And the thing is that both actors had their own separate type of dialect, because Pattinson comes from up north where he was in Timber, and Willem Dafoe plays an old sea dog, and so they're just like, yeah, this tense film that gets wild. So finally, I should have been saying like 10, 9, 8, 7, and I did not for any of this. But whatever, I'm at the 15-minute mark and I'm not re-recording any of this. So my number one just came out and took the top spot as my favorite A24 film. It is also my favorite multiverse film, including the MCU, the DCEU, well, not necessarily the DCEU, but the DC animated films. Jet Li's The One, Rick and Morty even. This one took top spot in there. It's got Michelle Yeoh in it. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It's got the kid from Goonies. He was also in Indiana Jones. Short Round from Indiana Jones. I'm of course talking about the Danielses. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Let me just say, like, when the Daniels said we're making a multiverse movie, they went for it. They took it and ran with it. Like, it gets bizarre. It is action. It is comedy. It is drama. It is like it's part thriller, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it blew me away, especially for like what they were able to do with their budget, with their limited experience in working with digital effects, because like they had a team of I think 7 people working on digital effects, including the 2 directors. None of them had experience with it, and they pretty much took tutorials online and they made it work. Everything was seamless. Everything was flawless. I love this movie. I had no complaints with this movie. And this is the Walmart exclusive 4K, even though I don't like Walmart. I had to get this because I love the cover art for it. So anyway, if you have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think that this is like it's definitely my favorite film of the year, my favorite A24 film, and my favorite multiverse film. So there we go. Stay tuned, because I am doing another video game collection video this weekend. So I hope to see you there. Remember, I've been a nostalgia collector, and physical media will never die. Bye-bye.